Yes, I do. I believe in social health care. Definitely. I'm very much with Canada on that one.
Have you had an experience with the insurance system?
Oh man, yes. It's getting worse and worse. It's getting worse by the month. Just to get what you barely need, you have to go through so many channels. There are authorizations, referrals, medications that are not available to you because of insurance policies.
Oh, I think definitely. I think that the arguments against it are sort of corporate inspired. I think that everyone should have the right to medical attention. Everyone should be able to have medical attention and get the medical attention they need. It's something that society should be willing to support, however that's done, whatever it costs. I don't respect doctors who don't want to participate in Medicare and things like that, because I think there's a community that we live in, and something like healthcare is so basic that everybody should be willing to support it in whatever way they can.
Yes, I do. I believe that the European countries and the companies that have socialized medicine, they have a better quality of life.
Why
yes.
do you believe that America should have free healthcare?
Because children deserve to be able to go to the doctor. Women who have children should be able to go for checkups. People who have cancer should be able to go checkups and take care of themselves.
No.
Why not?
We simply can't afford it. It's a pipe dream that could never be fulfilled, and it's an unsustainable idea. It's a great idea if it were possible, but it's simply not possible.
Yes.
Why so?
Because that's again a human right. That why should someone be ill or die because they don't have money? It's for the future of the country, for the future of the world. We don't want to lose promising human beings.
Yeah, I mean, healthcare is a human need, and it is possible to meet that need. The only problem that happens with this country is that there's no money in it. I mean, and it even comes down, other capitalist countries do better than this country. It costs 10 times what it costs to get an MRI in the US as it costs in Japan. So definitely things could be done different, but I think we could have a system where people's health care is just something that we meet because it's what humanity needs. And we have the capability to meet it. We have the medicine that could save the thousands of children who die each year from cholera in different parts of the world. It's actually very cheap medicine. It costs like a few pennies a dose. And that's the reason it doesn't get produced, because no big business wants to produce medicine that they could only sell for a couple pennies. So those children are allowed to die. That needs to be stopped, and that's why we're a revolutionary. That's why I'm a revolutionary.
I know it is a very tough topic for a lot of people. It's a topic that has been well debated in the media and all over the world. The reason I believe in universal health care is because, firstly, the government is never transparent about where their spendings lie. I believe that if only the government was transparent, then we would clearly see that a major chunk of our taxes goes towards war, goes towards army spending, Navy spending, Air Force spending. I want that to be cut down and instead utilized towards a universal health care. I don't want to ever be in a situation where I have to see one of my friends just because they don't have the finances not be able to afford their health care. That makes me entirely sad. I think if we look at the spendings, expenses of the government in a transparent way, we will clearly see that there is ridiculous amounts being spent on things that are not needed. I think there should be more focus on people and their health and their education. So yeah, universal health care for all.
Everyone should have health care, and even the people that can't afford it.
Yes! Why should we pay?
I don't think there should ever be anything free. People don't value things when they're free.
Yes.
Go for it.
All the way.
Free healthcare. Free healthcare, I think it should be free. And I think there should be a right to it. There are going to be people who abuse it, unfortunately, but the only reason it's not free is because it's capitalistic. People make money off of it. The way drugs are sold, that people make money. People are in the business to make money off of it. I know that people will say like, oh, it'll raise taxes, oh, it'll do this and that. But if people were just honest and true with medicine and didn't live in the light of greed, people made pharmaceutical drugs that are actually beneficial, not just to make a buck. People made hospitals and treated people as patients versus a number. If things were treated in greed, I think it would balance it out. And another,
that would be nice. Allow me to retire earlier.
Absolutely. It absolutely should try free healthcare. We are a humongous country that has an impact on the entire globe. And for our own citizens, we are unable to provide universal healthcare. To me, that's mind-boggling. Absolutely, yeah.
Well, the thing is that it's not free, because for us to have free healthcare, we would have to have our taxes certainly over 50% of our income tax for something like that. I believe in states' rights. Personally, this is a very Democrat, kind of communistic sort of state. We do have state Medicare. We have that in New York. We have that in California. We have that in various states. Do I believe in a universal nationwide healthcare? I think it would be a big mess. I think it would cause a lot of problems. I think the taxes would be through the roof. I think we would just start to see the struggles of what we see in other places. I think we could resolve that without something like Obamacare or the ACA, which has, again, already created problems. There are people whose premiums went through the roof. There's people who it made life tougher for them financially, this idea of universal health care. So, not to be blunt, no.
Well, if you look at the rest of the world, and especially look at Europe, where we are in healthcare, it's sad. It's sad that, you're an elderly person, or if you're poor, you don't have access to healthcare. It's just for the rich. No, okay. It shouldn't be like this in this country. So yeah, universal healthcare. We should. It's a shame that we don't have that.
No, I don't. I mean, you should have the option of getting your own health care. That's the way I see it. I mean, I've seen it, I've heard about it in other countries, and people are actually trying to come here to get procedures done because the universal health care, for instance, like in England and Canada, I've heard are not good, and they're waiting forever to get procedures done. So that's number one. And number two is, I think that if we go ahead and do this, everyone is going to not get the health care that they need. I think the health care quality is going to go down if we do this.
Yes, definitely.
What is the best thing about free healthcare in the UK?
Well, you're never going to be left. Like, if you've got a problem, you're always going to be treated.
It means doctors have to work for free, or you work and the government takes half of your check and pays the doctor. So you're enslaving one or the other, either the population or the healthcare system. Somebody is going to get enslaved because there is nothing free in the world.
Yes.
Yes, I believe. Why?
Because it's just
everyone, it's a provider right. You should be provided that you get the right.
How can you live without
exactly.
getting the right health care?
Well, I think it's more complicated than most people on either side will say, right? I mean, I talk to people who I'm basically on the left, I talk to people who are like, I realize I have the right to health care, I have a right to free health care. And it's like, well, yeah, I think we should take care of people who need to be taken care of. I don't think there should be a country where people die or live miserable lives because they can't afford to take care of themselves or their kids. But on the other hand, there's no such thing as free. Somebody's paying for it. So if you're not paying for it, somebody else is. So I feel like people need to be aware of that. This whole idea like it's just free, like even free tuition. I think community college should be free. But again, like free is a relative term. Like it should be paid for by the government and by the society so that everyone has the opportunity to get community college the way we got to a point in history where everyone got the opportunity to have free high school. I think that's where we are now. But again, people should appreciate. They shouldn't just think, oh, well, I deserve this out of nowhere. Like it's a good society that is able to do that for its citizens.
It's a complicated question. I know that the system we have is completely broken, and at the end of the day, yes, I do. I was watching a Canadian being interviewed lately who said, I can't comprehend what is going on in your country. It's a crazy thing. It's a crazy thing that our health care is tied in with our jobs. How did that happen? I do think health care should be a basic human right. I do.